So, folks, we are about to embark on an adventure into the abyss of politics. That's right, we're looking at New York City, round 2, mayoral debate. It's time. The people have spoken, sort of, in the polls, and we gotta see how things shake out after this debate. It's time. You all tried to stop me, I would not be stopped. And much in a way that mirrors Andrew Cuomo, whose entire staff apparently tried to stop him from posting this AI advertisement, which was quickly deleted off of his social media. Let's take a look at it, shall we?
Zohran Mamdani's opponents want you to believe he's an inexperienced radical whose policies will make New York City more dangerous. But what do his actual supporters think?
Mamdani isn't crazy.
He's just trying to even the playing field.
Give everyone a fair shot. Sure, he said multiple times we need to defund the police, but that was just a metaphor.
And yes, he did say crime is a social construct, but that was also a metaphor.
His main backer, the Democratic Socialists' ideas are common sense, such as
decriminalizing misdemeanors, like shoplifting.
third-degree assault.
Oh my god, what?
Trespassing.
Oh my god.
Prostitution.
Oh my god.
And drunk driving.
With plans to decriminalize all drugs, Mamdani will be a job creator for drug dealers.
Instead of helping
Holy
us
shit.
homeless get off the streets and into the mental health facilities we need, he wants to give us safe injection sites to do crack and let us sleep in subway carts.
These are actual policies Mamdani and the DSA want to implement on day one.
When a woman's being domestically abused, she finally won't have to deal with some pesky cop to arrest the abuser, but now a social worker to help, kumbaya the situation.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Just a classic social war or
Mamdani is finally lowering jail sentences. Guilty!
But Mamdani says you're free to go.
Who cares if legalizing prostitution statistically leads to an increase for sex trafficking of women and young girls by 70%?
You can't have safety without equality.
For unlawful abiding citizens
Oh
like
my
us,
God.
globalize the intifada.
I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal.
I'm a criminal.
Yep. I'm a criminal. For Zohran.
For Zohran Mamdani.
I didn't have a real job until I was 30, but sure, give me the keys to the city. What's the worst that can happen?
Paid for by Cuomo for NYC.
oh my god, they actually paid real money for this. They paid real money. They gave real people real money to make maybe the most racist campaign advertisement of all time. What the hell? I was not prepared for this. I was not at all prepared. I'm sorry. Just like the memes that get posted here. Oh, look at him running with the keys to the city. And there he is eating rice with his hands, ignoring the fact that he was eating biryani, which is eaten with the hands. Wants to end all misdemeanor charges. I wonder if that's true. Let's see. Okay, we got reasonable, well-meaning people here. He's not crazy. Whoa, look at all these law-abiding people. And this guy came on screen. I was like, why is this guy dressed like a low? Why is this guy dressed like a pimp? Right? Why is this guy? Not only is he dressed like a pimp, he's dressed like the Project Veritas guy. What's his name? When he did his hit piece on Acorn, he's dressed up like that guy when he went to try and smear Acorn decades ago.
Wow, that
This
makes
is
the
nuts.
infamous Willie Horton campaign ad look almost normal. Almost.
And I'm just like, okay, we've got a guy with bruises on his face. All right. And then we've got, oh yeah, this guy's a shoplifter because of course he is. But he puts on a kif. It looks like a kifya, like a palace. and then starts stealing. Yeah, like, oh my god, this guy is like beating a woman. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Also, just to let you guys know, safe injection sites aren't just for homeless people. They're for everyone, so that everyone can, not die from taking drugs, because we don't want people to die preventable deaths. It's actually a pretty reasonable position to have. Also, the idea of city-run grocery stores is so that everyone can afford food, even if they live in a food desert. That means more affordable food for both housed people and unhoused people. And like, this guy came in prepared to rob the store and is just running with a bunch of chips. Like didn't bring a bag. Okay. But also, yeah, we're gonna have a kumbaya situation. Like, this lady's calling social workers, but under Mamdani's model, there would always be someone to pick up, because you're putting more people on these cases. You're putting more people, making more people available to take these calls and respond to them, because the cops would then just focus on violent crime rather than on like non-violent crime. So in a violent domestic abuse situation, you would still be calling the police.
Wait, hold up, who injects crack?
The Super Saiyan crack users. After you've injected enough crack, after you've done enough crack, you move up to being an injector. That's how it works. You ascend. But like, is the implication here that this guy like killed these people, and then like Zohran Mamdani is just going to, like, you're convicted of murder, you're free to go? Like, that's not how that works. Also, just like, why is this guy lighting his own hand on fire? What? Like, why is this guy lighting his own hand on fire? Like, yes, people who oppose genocide, they're just here to burn American flags and like get into street brawls. Yeah. Yeah, dog. I hate this so fucking much. Oh my god. Maybe broke into their home. It's like AI, the AI slopification of politics, man. I don't think we're ready. I don't think we're ready, because like Andrew Cuomo's doing this and he's basically a Republican, but like when we start seeing like the midterm elections, my hunch is we're going to see so much more of this AI slop, because Republicans care even less. Like, Andrew Cuomo's campaign posted this and then almost immediately deleted it. We're going to see like Republicans just posting this kind of shit nonstop and standing by it, you know? Why did the trespasser grow a mustache between scenes? Clearly because the trial took so long. Oh god. Can't wait for our grandkids to have to learn about this. Yeah, they'll have to learn about it while in classrooms with, chalkboards and such, because of the Butlerian jihad we're all gonna have to do. What the hell is this? Right? It's nuts. Anyway, with that, let's jump into the debate, huh? Let's do it. It's time.
This is an economy of phony AI trash ads citing nothing but the NY Post lying about the DSA platform and citing Cuomo himself. It's like the Ouroboros of shite.
Oh yeah, no, it's only a matter of time until like the folks who work for the New York Post start citing like AI hallucinations as fact. It's genuinely only a matter of time. Those guys do not have any standards.
He's a pimp, so he has to be black. And he's a black person who isn't poor, so he can't just be a low-level criminal. He's gotta be a pimp.
Yeah, and only black guys with kefias, do petty crimes like burglary. Like, it's genuinely insane. And like, thank you for the $10 super chat, Quigley, and thank you for the $10 Domino Paladin. But like, I don't know. It wasn't that long ago that the mass shooting took place here in Minneapolis, at that church, and like The New York Post had people out here within days asking around like queer spaces to see if anyone knew the shooter, and like trying to smear the queer community of Minneapolis as like the radicalizing agent of the mass shooter. It was really, really gross. Like, and they were pretty transparent about it too. I know people who interacted with them and talked with them, and it was obvious what they were doing. They didn't make it a secret. All right, let's jump into the debate. Here we go.
Good evening. Welcome to the final general election debate in the race for mayor of New York City. I'm Errol Lewis, political anchor here at Spectrum News New York 1, and we're coming to you live from the LaGuardia Performing Arts Center at LaGuardia Community College in Queens. Over the next 90 minutes...
Well, to be fair, Veer Jr., the Dems aren't doing this. Andrew Cuomo's doing it, and he's not the Democratic nominee.
You're going to hear from the leading mayoral candidates.
If anything, my money is that who's that billionaire who's backing Andrew Cuomo? Isn't it like Ackman? Is it Bill Ackman? If any, I put my money that Bill Ackman like personally made that like had them make that ad. That is my hunch. I have no basis for an informed opinion on that, but that is my hunch, because I know Bill Ackman is big on AI, and like I know Bill Ackman would 1000% be that bitch.
About the biggest issues in New York, including the cost of living, the education crisis, and public safety. I'm joined tonight by Katie Honan of the news organization The City, and Brian Lehrer of WNYC Radio and Gothamist.
Tonight's debate is brought to you by the New York City Campaign Finance Board, the city agency that administers the public matching funds program. It's also sponsored by Spectrum News New York 1, WNYC Gothamist, and the news site The City, and Spectrum
Sorry, I'm trying to get the subtitles in the right spot.
TCS, and our co-sponsors, the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at CUNY, the Center for New York City and State Law at New York Law School, the Museum of the City of New York, and John Jay College of Criminal Justice. You can watch tonight's debate without a paywall on ny1.com. It is also being broadcast on NYC TV, WNYC Radio, C-SPAN, the Spectrum News YouTube page, and thecity.nyc. It's in Spanish on Spectrum Noticias and YouTube.
The candidates joining us tonight have met a fundraising threshold established by the Campaign Finance Board. The seat is currently held by Eric Adams, who has decided not to run for re-election. In alphabetical order, Andrew Cuomo is a former governor.
I gotta say, props to her for having no facial reaction about that, because if I was in her shoes, 1000% I'd be looking smug as hell.
Governor of New York, running on an independent line. Zohran Mamdani is the Democratic nominee, representing parts of Queens in the state assembly.
God, his smile is just so good. Like, it is genuinely a huge asset that he is conventionally attractive and charming, you know?
Since 2021. And Curtis Sliwa is the Republican nominee and the founder of the Guardian Angels.
And now for the rules. The rules you see on your screen right now have been agreed to by all of the candidates. Each candidate will deliver an opening statement of up to 45 seconds, and then answers to our questions will generally be limited to 60 seconds with a chance for rebuttals. Candidates will have an opportunity to ask one opponent one question in our cross-examination round. So let's begin. This will be the last time all three candidates will be together on stage. The next mayor will be sworn into office 71 days from now on January 1st, 2026. He will inherit a city with an affordability crisis, a tense relationship with the federal government, and millions of New Yorkers who very likely did not support him. Let's begin our debate with your opening statements to viewers. You have 45 seconds. The order was determined by a random drawing on live television this morning, and we'll begin with Curtis Sliwa. Good evening.
Thank you. It's us versus them. It's us versus the insiders and the billionaires. It's us versus Cuomo. It's us versus Zohran. This is.
Can I just say, like, it's us versus the billionaires from this guy when, like, dude, if the billionaires thought you had any shot of winning this election, they'd be in lockstep behind you, Curtis. Like, that's, like, this guy is only anti-billionaire because they aren't giving him money. You know? Like, that's... It's us versus the rap men. Alright? The billionaires, they don't understand. They don't understand what's happening on our streets. They don't understand what's happening miles below our tunnel system, where their giant diesel-powered engines rumble. That's right, they use diesel down there. They have access to more oil than any of us on the surface can ever imagine. Their machines and industry are unparalleled, having millions of years to toil away in the bowels of the earth. And they're coming for us. They're coming, and they're more prepared than any force any of us have ever seen.
This is a campaign not about power. This is a campaign about you, the people. And I know many of you hardworking New Yorkers, you tell me you've been pushed aside, you've been silenced. These are the people that have all the money, all the connections. They've made their backroom deals, but we have something more important. We have you, the people. And we're not going to be silenced anymore. We're going to fight.
You know, it is a sign of the times that his populist rhetoric actually resonates with folks to the degree that I need to remind all of you, this guy sucks. Like, I do enjoy doing the Rat Man bit, but, like, this guy sucks. This guy has, like, fabricated, like, like, subway attacks and said that, like, the Guardian Angels stopped them. This guy has, like, been out doing
After
doing
this
pieces
segment,
with
I made
Hannity
a
for
Sliwa
ages.
meme I want to share.
Like this guy's been doing segments with Hannity for years. Like Sean Hannity on Fox News. Like, this guy is like a Republican to the bone. He doesn't have populist policies. He has populist messaging and populist rhetoric, but his policies do not match that, right? So he is, you know, only allied against the billionaires at the moment out of convenience for himself. The second it would become inconvenient, he would bend over backwards for them, right? And make no mistake, if he actually won power, none of his policies would curtail billionaire power at all.
Tonight, I want you to look at the content of my policies, to know that I've served this city for more than 50 years, the city that I love. And I'm going to share with you my vision to make New York City safer again, to make New York City more affordable again, and where everybody once again can live the American dream.
Thank you. Next is Andrew Cuomo. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. New York's first, thank you to the moderators. Thank you all for being here. And go Knicks, go Knicks, go Knicks. I hope we get an update on the score. New York is the greatest city.
It's US versus the billionaires. US versus the communists. And US versus the bugs. They don't care about Buenos Aires, and I will fight for Terrans.
Oh God, he does come across like that old guy with the beret from Starship Troopers. I just made that connection. Old man Starship Troopers. Oh God, yeah, no, 1000%. Yeah, he comes across like this guy. Oh my God.
On the globe.
Thank you for the $10 donor,
we are
Paladin.
at a pivotal moment.
Thank you for supporting Stream. Very much appreciated, folks.
And the voters are going to have to decide in this election what candidate has the plan to save this city and what candidate can get it done, not just talk about it. My main opponent has no new ideas. He has no new plan. It's Bill de Blasio rehash, and we know how that turned out. He's never run anything, managed anything. He's never had a real job. I will hire 5,000 new police, build 500,000 new units. I will cut taxes. I will grow jobs. And I will end this hate mongering and division that is tearing this city apart, because that's not who we are as New Yorkers. You know I can make change. You know I can make government work. I've done it before. I'll be ready on day one.
Okay, thank you. Next is Zohran Mamdani. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you to the moderators, and thank you to New Yorkers for tuning in. I know you'd rather be watching the Knicks. While there are 3 candidates on this stage, you will hear only 2 messages. My opponents, who spend more time trying to convince the other to drop out than actually proposing their own policies, will speak only of the past, because that's...
I love a good shot across the bow. What a... Because basically the only questions that have been asked to like Curtis Sliwa and Andrew Cuomo is if they're going to drop out of the race to stop Zohran Mamdani. And let's be clear here, even if one of them dropped out of the race, there would still not be, even if 100% of the voters carried over to the other, still not be anywhere near enough to beat Zohran Mamdani in the general. You know?
All that they know. I am the sole candidate running with a vision for the future of this city. Andrew Cuomo will spend much of tonight attacking me. He is a desperate man, lashing out because he knows that the one thing he's always cared about, power, is now slipping away from him. He will amplify right-wing talking points, he will share conspiracy theories, and he will do these things to make you feel that this should keep you up at night. But I've been spending the last year listening to New Yorkers, and I know what actually keeps you up. It's whether or not you can afford to live a safe and dignified life in this city. I have plans for our future. My opponents only have fear.
Thank you very much, candidates. Let's start tonight with some breaking news that happened yesterday afternoon when federal agents descended on Canal Street, arresting street vendors who have been selling counterfeit designer merchandise for as long as any of us can remember. This is the first time we've seen major federal law enforcement activity in the city outside of arrests.
Wait, has Mamdani still not been elected as the running Dem? No, he has. Zohran Mamdani is the Democratic candidate in the election. Andrew Cuomo has acknowledged that Zohran Mamdani is the Democratic candidate. But Andrew Cuomo then proceeded to run as an independent. So, like...
Immigration court in Lower Manhattan. And some critics are now ringing an alarm bell, calling it a dangerous and unprecedented use of federal agents in New York City. Others say that the vendors were a major quality of life problem in the neighborhood that the NYPD had ignored. So the candidate, I'll ask each of you to respond to this. How should the mayor and the NYPD have handled both the presence of the street vendors and then the federal action? We'll start with you, Mr. Cuomo.
I've had a lot of dealings with President Trump. And there's only one way to deal with him. He puts his finger in your chest, and you have to put your finger right back in his chest. I've actually had this situation with ICE.
And let's be clear, Andrew Cuomo knows a thing about putting fingers on people's chests.
Interfering in New York before. It was upstate New York where ICE just showed up and started to take action. And I called the president and I went down to the White House and I said, that doesn't work in New York. You don't send ICE in without coordinating with our police. It's not smart, it's duplicative, and it's dangerous. We don't need ICE to do quality of life crimes. We don't need them to worry about illegal vendors. That's a basic policing function for NYPD, Consumer Affairs, etc. I would have called the president and I would have said, look, you're way out of bounds, they're way out of bounds, call them back or I'm going to have the NYPD step in and stop them.
Why not just do that? Why not just have them stop ICE in the first place? Like, the president's not sending ICE into New York City and be like, oh man, they're overstepping their authority? Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't intend that. Like, nah, dog.
Because this is not their jurisdiction. You're in the city of New York.
Okay, Mr. Mamdani.
ICE is a...
Yes, I mean, all of the questions that I'm asking here are going to inevitably come back around to Andrew Cuomo is a piece of shit who has no business being mayor of New York City.
reckless entity that cares little for the law and even less for the people that they're supposed to serve. What we need to be doing here in our city is to end the chapter of collaboration between City Hall and the federal government, which we've seen under Mayor Adams. What we need to do is actually pass the street vending reform bills that have been in the city council, some of which that this mayor has actually overridden. That's an example of how we can both protect street vendors, ensure quality of life, and leave no stone unturned in delivering for the people of this city, as opposed to working with a president who is looking to declare war on those same people.
What I really like about his performance so far in this debate is that he's taking a much more pugilistic stance. Like he's coming in hot. He's like ready to fight. I think, you know, his team probably was like, okay, you've introduced yourself softly. Now it's time to show the gloves are off.
Mr. Sliwa.
Unlike both of my adversaries, I patrolled that area many times, Church and Canal. And as you said, Errol, that activity has been going on for a long time. Selling the knockoff, sometimes stolen contraband by a series of people. The local 5th Precinct, they make arrests when they have obviously cause to do so. And they complain that they have to release them because of no cash bail, of which both of my adversaries are in favor of and I'm not.
Because I think they should be sent below the streets, that's right. Anyone rounded up by these raids should instead of being sent to some kind of obscure torture camp, should be sent down below to fight as some kind of army against the Ratmen. That's right, the Ratmen. They're crawling all over the caverns down below, and it's time that we have the forces necessary to put a stop to them.
The feds should not have stepped into this situation. There is not communication between the local authorities and the feds. This is a matter that should have been left up to the NYPD. But we can't tolerate citizens attacking our federal law enforcement forces in the street because then that will just lead to anarchy.
Let me ask a related question. President Trump has been commenting on this race and all of you on a regular basis. He's been less than glowing when talking about each of you, especially you, Mr. Mamdani. I'd like you each to describe whatever combination of defiance, diplomacy, and cooperation you will use as mayor if President Trump continues to increase the federal government's role in the affairs of our city while also threatening to decrease funding. Start with you this time, Mr. Sliwa.
Well, both my adversaries have decided to bump chests with President Trump to prove who's more macho. You can't beat Trump. He holds most of the cards. He's already cut federal funding for Medicaid, for the SNAP program, and is threatening to cut funds for NYCHA.
You've got to lick his boots. It's the only way you'll get what you want from him. Gotta lick them. Gotta deep throat them. You've got to figure out how to caress them, woo them, take them out on dates.
So if you're all of a sudden going to get adversarial, you're going to lose. And who gets hurt? The people of New York City. With Trump, it's always the art of the deal. You have to go, you have to try to negotiate, whether it's with his minions or himself. He'll want you to give in order to get a little bit. But if you immediately act like you're going to take him on, like, you know, it's going to be a one-on-one fight, we're going to lose. All the people in New York City are going to lose. You have to be able to show respect. And I think if you show respect, you'll get respect, and you'll protect the New Yorkers who are so desperately in need of federal funds. What's the good of it? They'll bump.
I love that despite his macho, his attempt to like embrace like a macho aesthetic and demeanor, like a tough guy, like I fought the mob and they shot me in the back of a cab. Yeah, I've seen the struggle on the streets. Like this guy is just like, oh yeah, but we gotta capitulate to him. Oh geez, we just gotta collaborate and capitulate. There's no way we can keep one another safe. Oh guys.
Chess with Donald Trump. They won't get the money, and then they'll blame Donald Trump. I will negotiate with Donald Trump and try to get the best deal possible for our poor and indigent citizens.
Okay, Mr. Cuomo.
Yeah, excellent point, Andrew S. None of the organizations or institutions that capitulated have, retained any of their dignity. They have all wound up losing, and they continue to lose. Every single one of them. And there are going to be longer term consequences as well. Like any kind of figure that bends the knee like this, they don't have a future in politics. Like, this authoritarian moment is going to be defeated, and when it is, by our collective work and our collective struggle, like, they don't have a way forward, these capitulators and bootlickers, these midwives of fascism, or rather would-be midwives of fascism. Like, they gotta go. And they're going to.
The difference on this question is I've actually lived it, and I've done it with President Trump over many years through the most difficult situation that this country has gone through, COVID plus. You're wrong. You're going to have to confront...
Dude, last person who should have the word COVID coming out of their mouth is this guy.
President Trump. He is hyper-aggressive, and he is going to overstep his bounds. And you are going to have to confront him. And you can beat him. I confronted him, and I have beaten him. He was going to quarantine New York during COVID.
And then I beat him off. And that's how we got a sweetheart deal.
I stopped him. He was going to cut aid to federal programs, and I stopped him. But you also want to be in a place where you can cooperate on good things, because we need federal help if we're going to save our city and rebuild our city. President Trump has to respect you. He sent the National Guard into 20 cities. City he didn't send it into? New York. Because I talked to him and I said, we don't need you here. He has said he'll take over New York if Mamdani wins, and he will, because he has no respect for him. He thinks he's a kid and he's going to knock him on his tuchus. So it is a balance, but...
There goes Andrew Cuomo again, tuchus posting during a debate.
You're going to have to be adversarial when you need to, but you want to cooperate to get good things done in this city, and you need federal help.
Mamdani.
You caress gopher nipples. Jesus.
We first just heard from the Republican candidate for mayor, and then we heard from Donald Trump's puppet himself, Andrew Cuomo. Hey! You could turn on TV any day of the week, and
the fact that he got cheers and applause for that. Let's go. Let's go, dude.
You will hear Donald Trump share that his pick for mayor is Andrew Cuomo. And he wants Andrew Cuomo to be the mayor, not because it will be good for New Yorkers, but because it will be good for him. Look, Donald Trump ran on 3 promises. He ran on creating the single largest deportation force in American history. He ran on going after his political enemies, and he ran on lowering the cost of living. If he wants to talk to me about the 3rd piece of that agenda, I will always be ready and willing. But if he wants to talk about how to pursue the 1st and 2nd piece of that agenda at the expense of New Yorkers, I will fight him every single step of the way.
Okay.
Short rebuttal from Mr. Cuomo.
That's not what Donald Trump said. Donald Trump does an analysis of the race. Donald Trump, I believe, wants
Donald Trump has never once done an analysis of anything.
Mamdani. That is his dream, because he will use him politically all across the country, and he will take over New York City. Make no mistake. It will be President Trump and Mayor Trump, and he will come in and take over the city. I have no doubt.
I gotta be honest, if the only difference between Donald Trump taking over the city and not taking over the city is if someone is nice to him on the phone, like, I don't believe that. I think more needs to be done to actually prevent Donald Trump from moving ICE or the National Guard into New York City. Like, more needs to be done than just calling him up and saying, hey, knock it off, and then hanging up. Like, that's, I'm sorry. Like, if you believe that's how politics works, you're naive as hell. You're too much, you have too much baby brain to actually engage in politics.
All he said was, his analysis is after the polls, it's a tough choice between a Democrat and a communist. And he considers Mamdani a communist. He happens to be a socialist. But between a communist and a Democrat, it's a tough choice for him.
Okay. All right. Thank you, candidates. Brian wants to talk.
Jesus. What are we covering? We're covering the 2nd New York City mayoral debate. Your hair looks great tonight. Thank you. Really appreciate all the compliments on it tonight, folks.
Talk to you about
this is the 2nd one, Somnia Static.
some important issues on the minds of New Yorkers.
Hi, candidates. Thank you for coming tonight. Yeah, and the cost of living is our next topic.
Moby, what are you doing here? I didn't know Moby was involved in politics.
You've all cited it as a major factor, and of course so many New Yorkers are experiencing this, especially when it comes to rising housing costs. And many New Yorkers were shocked this week as a new report from the group Advocates for Children revealed that about 154,000 New York City public school students have been homeless at some point during the last year. 65,000 lived in homeless shelters. Even more were in doubled-up situations with no home of their own. It's never been over 150,000 before, they tell us, and it amounts to 1 in 7 New York City kids. As mayor, how would each of you tackle this problem to help this vulnerable?
No, guys, that's not Moby. Guys, that's not. Guys, this isn't Moby. I was making a joke.
Population, and in this round we're going to go Mr. Mamdani, Mr. Cuomo, Mr. Sliwa. So Mr. Mamdani, you go first.
This is a stain on our city. To see this many children in our public school system be homeless, and to know that this is the 9th consecutive year that it's more than 100,000 of those children. What we need to do is ensure that next year is not the same, and we are going to do that by building the housing necessary such that New Yorkers are not priced out of this city or forced to live in shelters. And that's why my campaign is going to deliver 200,000 new affordable homes across the 5 boroughs, all while freezing the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants. Now, in the public school system, we also have a program called Every Child and Family is Known. It links a child who is living in a homeless shelter with an employee of the public school system. It also links that employee with the child's family. It's been shown to increase attendance records, self-esteem, a level of belonging in that school system. I am going to increase that pilot program to more than 200 schools, and we're going to do it because we have to deliver for these children.
That is such a great idea. And you know, New York City has a bunch of initiatives that have been tried out as pilot programs that have found a lot of success, but there hasn't been really political will to expand them. And I love that Zohran Mamdani's campaign is focused on those successful initiatives and actually bothering to expand upon the successes.
Mr. Cuomo. Zohran is a great actor. He missed his calling. Freeze
the worst part about Andrew Cuomo is that like he refuses to engage on the merits of any of the arguments that Zohran makes or talk about any of the policy proposals that Zohran talks about. It's crazy. Like he's about to talk about like freezing the rent. Oh, freezing the rent won't help. But like there's a reason he says that. It's because he's paid by the landlord lobby.
The rent sounds great. Yeah, it affects about 25% of the number of housing units in the city of New York. It's not a new idea. Bill de Blasio did it. It turned out to be a debacle. And it does nothing for 75% of the units. And for the 20...
But it does something for 25% of them, which is a lot.
25, it just postpones the increase and actually causes us to lose units because landlords took them off the market.
I'll jump in and ask you to address the homeless children question, and we will get to rent freeze.
Yeah.
Well, also, like, yeah, postponing the rent hike is the point. Like, you freeze the rent, and when it gets unfrozen, the rent goes up again. But like, you can just not unfreeze it, you know. God. I noticed that. Is it the lighting, or do you have different highlights in your hair? I got my hair done today, so that's why it looks a bit different.
The answer to homeless children is you need more affordable housing. And I'm saying freeze the rent was done under de Blasio. It doesn't work. It's a canard and just a great 3-word slogan for TikTok. The way to increase availability of affordable housing is to build affordable housing. I was the HUD secretary. I did it all across the country. We have 1% vacancy rate. We're not building enough affordable housing, and you need a competent, productive government to do that. And that's what I've done across the country, across the state. Make government work. You get the supply up, the rents will come down.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa.
I just, you know, it just seems to me like, hey, maybe when we're talking about housing for the most vulnerable people in society, maybe that should be provided not for a profit motive. Maybe we should be looking at that as something we provide as part of the public good. Same way we look at things like roads, the same way we look at things like fire departments, the same way, we treat a lot of different issues in society that are pretty not controversial. And it seems to me like, we shouldn't necessarily even be when talking about like unhoused folks, we shouldn't even be talking about, affordable housing. We should be talking about like free housing, like housing that people can live in with dignity. And maybe there's like an option, like I don't know exactly how it would work, but maybe there's an option for them to like buy the housing unit that they get put up in. Maybe there's an option like once they get up on their feet that they can like actually like build a life in that unit, and because it is a unit worth building a life in. And it just kind of seems to me like social housing, at the very least for like the most vulnerable in society, should be like a basic expectation. Other countries in the world have that. But there's all this constant discussion about affordable housing. And part of the reason that is the constant discussion is because affordable housing inevitably has private ownership that seeks to make a profit off of said affordable housing.
Okay, Mr. Mamdani, you were named, so you get 30 seconds.
We are in the 9th consecutive year of more than 100,000 children in the New York City public school system being homeless. That means it began when Andrew Cuomo was the governor. And what did he do?
Just fucking pump. Boom, boom, boom. My man in there just getting gut punches. It's great. I'd like free housing. On that note, I am getting scheduled for a tour of a short-term transitional housing unit. 12 months of homelessness in and out of my car finally might be putting an end to this chapter. One less trans girl living on the street. Hell yeah, Shakespeare. Not Shakespeare, Shakespeare. Thank you I for your patience in me getting your name kerfuffled. Let's go. Let us know how it goes.
What did he do about it? He did not do anything. He spent more money on a singing water fountain at LaGuardia Airport than he did on the average cost of an affordable housing unit. That is the record that we have in display, and what we need is a change in this city, not more of the same.
Yeah, but if I may, the homeless issue, number of homeless since I left, has more than doubled during his administration and the state's administration. Since I left...
During his whose administration? He wasn't the What are you talking about? He was in the like state level. Like what are you talking about, man?
Homeless rate is more than doubled. When I left, the vacancy rate on housing was 4.5%. It's
why didn't you, someone who had limited power in the state government, not do as much as me, a literal governor of the state?
Now 1%. This man never even proposed a bill on housing or education. Never even proposed a bill.
Let's keep going back and forth between the two of you. Mr. Sliwa, it's your turn.
Andrew, you didn't leave. You fled from being impeached by the Democrats in the state legislature. Leave. You fled. But let's get back on topic, because I'm the only candidate up here who's been into many of the over 300 Department of Homeless Services shelters. And the
Zohran mentioned Tokyo as an example of building housing, but that is not the full story. Japan has both very loose zoning and mixed housing, while also using public housing. In this country, we also ban gated neighborhoods, ban HOAs, and do other things to keep rents down. My rent is 64,000 yen per month, which is around 420 USD, including all utilities, internet, etc. That is only possible with both building homes and public housing. Yeah, and that's really it, right? Like, and I don't think that like Zohran's against public housing. I just think that like the political salient point right now is not that, but I think his election gets us closer to a world where we can finally have that debate openly on the debate stage. And I, for one, really look forward to it. Also, Lux Progressive, thank you very much for the raid. Folks, go follow Lux Progressive over on Twitch. Excellent content creator.
family shelters are unsafe for the families there. We have to make them safer. We have to bring teachers into the shelter. Many times, the mothers or the guardian have to get on bus after bus and take them to a school that's 2 or 2.5 hours away. This is a horror situation that's taking place. And we have to prioritize this because this number of homeless children is going to grow. It takes 5 years to build affordable housing. We need to address it in the shelters itself to be able to handle it so that the teachers can come in, whether they're public.
Wait, how does that, wait, so you're saying, okay, so there's no solution to like get these children housed. And so the population of homeless children is just gonna grow. So don't bother doing the affordable housing. Don't bother doing anything to build housing. Just send the teachers to the homeless shelters. Like that also sounds like a bad policy.
School teachers, charter school teachers, and I know there are a number of parochial school teachers who love children who would volunteer.
Oh yeah, I forget. Curtis Sliwa is very much in favor of like Catholic schools specifically. So when he's talking about parochial school teachers, what he's talking about is like, let's send Catholic school teachers into the homeless shelters. You know, we got to get the children, and it's just kind of like, not like that.
Their efforts to do that.
We're going to give it to Katie Honan now to ask about another aspect of affordable housing.
We're going to switch to the millions of New Yorkers who are renters, specifically those in rent-regulated apartments. There are more than 1 million New Yorkers living in these units, most of them rent-stabilized. Mr. Mamdani, you've proposed a rent freeze for these tenants. Mr. Cuomo, you don't support that, and you've proposed a new means test for having a rent-stable.
Well, wait, to be clear, Archangel, I don't think Curtis Sliwa has ever been a cop. I need to really stress this. Curtis Sliwa is not a cop. Curtis Sliwa's entire career has been as a vigilante. So like he's like has his organization, the Guardian Angels, and they just go around like a street gang. Like, damn. The dude sucks.
Apartment. Mr. Mamdani, our question, how can you know?
He does have cop phrenology, it's true.
In advance what the balance between landlord needs and tenant needs will be in future years. We've seen a lot.
Are they really a gang? They're essentially a gang, yes.
A lot of inflation in recent years. Haven't small landlords felt that pinch as well? And then we have other questions for the other candidates.
You know, we've seen time and again mayors use their power with the Rent Guidelines Board to hike the rent on those same more than 2 million New Yorkers. This same Rent Guidelines Board did a study that found that landlords of those units had seen their profits increase by more than 12%. Their response? Hike the rent on rent-stabilized tenants who have a median household income of $60,000.
Jesus.
I am vengeance. I am Red Beret. I am Ratman.
Ratman! Thank you very much for the 5 tier 1 subs, Sake Tanuki. Immensely appreciated. Here we go. You guys are on your way to being 20% towards your goal. Let's go.
I believe that tenants across our city deserve relief, and I also believe that city government can work to alleviate the pressures for landlords of those units without having to put that burden on those same tenants. It's possible to keep New Yorkers in this city and to help landlords with rising insurance costs, water bills, Con Edison, and a broken property tax system.
Thank you.
You know, like, I don't disagree with him that there's a need to, like, reform some things for landlords, but also, man, the amount of restraint it must take for a socialist candidate for mayor of New York City to not just say, fuck landlords, in response to that question, it must have been immense. There was that story about Curtis Sliwa's gang that beat up a random person on the news that was well known enough to appear on broadcast news here in Japan. It was really shocking and scary. Yeah, no, we covered that last time during the last debate because some people were like, oh, that bit you do with Curtis Sliwa, it makes it look so silly. Why aren't you engaging seriously with his ideas? And I'm like, well, his ideas aren't serious enough to engage with seriously because this guy, his entire career is just roughing up people on the streets that he thinks look like trouble. Like, you know, it's not great, to say the least. And all of his ideas that he does put forward are just like kowtowing the rich and powerful. That's it.
Mr. Sliwa, what's your proposal for helping New Yorkers with the historically high rent burdens in either stabilized or market rate units?
Why are you talking to me about the market rate units? Why are you talking about the market rat units? The rats that gather underground in their units, they're commandos!
I'd die laughing if he went, oh no. Forsooth, what shall the lords of the land do without the peasants to tend to their fields?
He just turns around, full like Sun King makeup. Also, Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs, very much appreciated. Again, you've talked to me about the rate increases. What about the rat increases? The rats are taking over down there. I've been down to the darkest depths. I've seen the great eye that they worship. Down in the depths, I've seen it with my own. It opened up my third eye and I could see a future where the ratmen have taken over the surface of the earth. Draglav, thank you for subscribing with Prime. The Ratman bit is never going to get old, and I am just going to keep on building obscure lore for these Ratmen every single time we talk about them.
First thing, we have 6,000 empty apartments in NYCHA. That is a sin. That's what the mayor can control right away. We need to move those families with children in.
Because the Ratmen will be attracted to those units, and then we'll fill them with explosives. That's right. We'll lure the Ratmen into traps using the children. The most vulnerable among us will be our greatest heroes. It's going to be our last line of defense against the onslaught against the surface world. Vote for Sliwa, he will destroy the Skittergate.
For those who live in rent-stabilized apartments and have their rent subsidized, Zohran Mamdani.
God, not one of these clowns can say his goddamn name right.
We need to make sure that
Mamdani. It's not a hard name to say.
The big realtors, that they have to pay a vacancy tax because they're holding off on those apartments. They're not putting them out into the marketplace because they want to flip the building. Not for the mid-sized landlords or the small landlords. They need the help. And there are a number of people in the outer boroughs. They own a home. They live on the property. They're not absentee landlords. 2, 3, 4 apartments. And they're deciding not to put them in the marketplace when somebody either leaves or dies because they have to deal with tenant-landlord court, which is an absolute nightmare for small landlords. We got to make sure it's a fair playing field so that
we've got to make sure it's a fair playing field by getting rid of the tenant-landlord court. We can't have it too fair to the tenants because we have to keep them going in and out of housing so that we can recruit for the great coming Ratman Wars. That's right, we need to put them down into the sewers. We'll build low-impact, affordable housing below the city, and then we'll recruit for our anti-Ratman army.
The tenants are protected, but the landlords are protected so they're not stuck with squatters for 4, 5, or 6 years, which destroys their equity and forces them to leave.
Thank you. Mr. Cuomo, you signed a law in 2019 repealing a means test to live in a rent-stabilized apartment. What's your position now and what changed in that?
At least Cuomo isn't talking about the land court as if it's terrible for tennis.
Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. It's true. Kyoto solved the issue of empty homes. They doubled the property tax of every empty home. That's really it, right? Like we just need a vacancy tax. Like where we do have means to solve these problems, chat. Like these are not insurmountable issues that other places also haven't been able to solve. Like no, you can just charge, landlords more for empty housing or empty, empty business fronts. Like, you can actually just charge them more for that, and that incentivizes them to turn them around faster and at lower rates.
The 2019 law was added tenant protections that had never been added before, and protections against tenant evictions. But to answer your question, You cannot, Zohran said, the tenant doesn't have to pay more rent, but we're going to cover the landlord's costs. No, you can't do both. And that.
Wait, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Draglab, thank you for the 500 biddies. And when I swept into office, I'll sell. And when I'm swept into office, I'll sell our children's organs to zoos for meat. And I'll go into people's homes at night and rack up the place, making it look like the Ratmen attacked. That's right, I got the idea from a little comic book I read.
Can you imagine Thag getting upset because his old empty cave in the Paleolithic was being occupied by another early hominid?
Look, Thag worked really hard on getting that Paleolithic cave, okay? He traded a lot of saber-tooth bones for that. And now you're just gonna come in and take Thag's cave without giving him enough saber-tooth bones? Without enough mammoth tusk? What do you... Harumph. The original Harumph. I found Riverboat Jack lore I thrive in. Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. Please do not give Curtis Sliwa food after midnight. True. Curtis, yes, it's true. 500 biddies, 1 sub. It's true. My favorite comic book, Watchmen. I read it and I came up with a wonderful idea to use children's organs to do a false flag attack on the Ratmen.
That's not what happened.
Oh, my headphones are being sassy. 1 second. I've got additional backup headphones. There we go. Nailed it.
We did freeze the rent with de Blasio. We lost units because the landlords took them off the market because you weren't covering their costs. The reason the Rent Guidelines Board went up after the freeze was because you had to make up for all the backlog of costs. And this, I'm going to freeze the rent. People think it applies to all of them. No, just the 25% of the units that are rent stabilized. And by the way, it's all BS because
just the people who need the rent stabilized? Just the people who need the rent frozen? Oh, that's crazy.
The mayor doesn't have the power to do it anyway. The Rent Guidelines Board does, and he doesn't control the Rent Guidelines Board. So nothing is going to happen. It's all this. It's just more political blather.
Mr. Mamdani, you can respond.
You know, if you want a candidate for mayor who tells you everything that he cannot do, then Andrew Cuomo should be your choice. If you want a candidate for mayor who will use every tool at their disposal, including the 9 appointees at the Rent Guidelines Board, all of whom are appointed by the mayor, then I am the candidate for you.
Which is true. You know, like if yeah, okay, he doesn't directly control that, but he appoints the people who do. Like, then he, by extension, controls it. Cuomo's trying to split hairs, and he's just full of shit.
We have to go to Errol, sir. I'm sorry, you weren't named, so I'm sorry. We're going to go to Errol, talk about development.
Errol, my name was invoked. Can I get the rebuttal? Quickly. Okay.
Did someone shout at him, shut up? That's really funny.
Quickly. The mayor doesn't appoint the Rent Guidelines Board. He's wrong. They are appointed to a term, and they're on holdovers. And when the term is over, you can appoint. But it takes a number of years to get control.
Okay, understood. Candidates, right now we are just blocks away from...
I believe he's full of shit on this one. I saw a breakdown over, I think, Yashar Ali again.
We need good nominees in the Rent Control Board. That musical is out of control and the characters are mostly terrible people.
It's true. We need rent control, not just in housing, but on Broadway. Sake, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs, and we are officially at 20% of the way towards our goal. Let's go, folks!
The site of the Long Island City rezoning plan, which has been under consideration for a decade at this point, and in its latest version would create 15,000 new apartments. That plan, like the recently passed City of Yes 5-borough rezoning reflects a reality that hundreds of thousands.
Oh, here we go. Nathan Tankus. Great person to follow, by the way, if you are looking for good economic breakdowns. Nathan Tankus got you back. Here is his post. Fact check, Cuomo's lying. Only one member of the Rent Guidelines Board has an unexpired term, and that is the end of 2026. So, literally all of them except for one can be replaced. All of them except for one can be replaced, and that last one could be replaced in 2026. So, yeah.
Of units, as many as 1 million new units will be needed in New York City over the next 10 years. What is your plan to get new units built quickly? And the order of this will be Mr. Cuomo, then Mr. Sliwa, then Mr. Mamdani.
Yeah, Sliwa said before it takes 5 years to build affordable housing. No, it doesn't. No, it shouldn't. That's an incompetent government. You can actually get competent government and well-managed government. I built LaGuardia Airport, even though he doesn't like it, in 4 years, okay? So don't tell me it takes 5 years to build a housing unit. You have to redo HPD. You have to change the entire organizational structure. You have the zoning, but you have to start hundreds, if not thousands, of sites simultaneously. Private sector developers, partner with not-for-profits, partner with CDCs, use city-owned sites, use air rights.
Oh shit, you're right. The wheel is in fact blocking the interpreter. Let me see if I can do something about that real quick.
Make a deal with the unions, but this has to be the #1 priority. The way I did 2nd Avenue Subway or the Mario Cuomo Bridge or the Kosciuszko Bridge, this project is
Cuomo has big Scroob energy. 026.
What the hell is Scroob? 26?
Sanders, you gotta help me. I don't know what to do. I can't make decisions. I'm a president.
Imagine the face of the lone remaining member when the DSA working group wearing t-shirts becomes the rest of the board smiley face.
Oh god, he does have big President Scroob energy. I haven't seen Spaceballs in so long. I really do need to freshen up. My god. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 sub, Sake Tanuki. And also, Onions, thank you for the 3 tier 2 subs. My goodness. Thank you very, very much. Thank you so much. Imagine the face of the lone remaining member when the DSA working group wearing t-shirts becomes the rest of the board. I mean, that is what should happen though, right? The DSA in New York has worked real hard on this campaign.
Thousands of housing developments being accelerated, expedited, facilitated at one time. And we need 500,000 units. That's the way you're going to make New York City affordable and still allow the talent to come here.
Okay, Mr. Sliwa.
I'm the only candidate here on the stage who is opposed to the city of yes.
Because our city needs to become the city of no. The city of no to Ratman. That's right, not a single Ratman can be permitted to be above the surface. If we do, they'll grow too powerful, with the sun's blinding rays giving them immense amounts of solar power. They've already mastered combustive technology the second they know that they can also absorb power from a nuclear fusion reactor in the sky. It's all over for us. They'll harness its power and make a miniature sun. Have you ever seen the movie Spider-Man 2? It'll be like that, only with rats. Rats everywhere.
Adversaries are for it. Make sure on election day when you turn over your ballot and you have the initiatives, you vote no. And you know how oftentimes I've been accused, how are you going to work with the Democratic-controlled city council? I, Adrian Adams, and the predominant Democrats, including many of them very liberal and progressive, believe no to yes. I have a simple plan. It takes a year. We have 25 Empire State buildings that would be empty and just have office space. It'll never be used because business doesn't operate the way it used to. Retrofit them to affordable apartments. Most are in Manhattan. The infrastructure is there. You set up a partnership with developers. It'll put men and women to work, and you'll get your affordable apartments a lot quicker and not...
Okay, except that you won't. Because I've looked into this because it sounds like a good idea until you realize that retrofitting office buildings for, like, to make them livable is a very expensive and time-consuming endeavor. This doesn't actually solve the problem quickly or, like, in a cost-effective way.
Be a burden to the outer boroughs and the residential communities because you're in the back pockets, Andrew, of the developers who wine dined and pocket lined you.
Let me ask you a follow-up on that, Mr. Sliwa. Do you think each elected city council member should have basically...
How can an office be made into a home? The issue is that it can't, right? Like, you gotta retrofit it a lot. You gotta spend time building walls and planning around the infrastructure within an office and, like, building out, like, the plumbing and electrical in ways that it was never intended to be. And you've got to, like, you know, not to mention, like, HVAC technology. It is a lot to retrofit a building like that. And again, like, the plumbing alone is like a deal killer in terms of cost.
Veto power over whether or not housing gets built in their district?
Absolutely. Local control. Community boards should have their say. What happened to zoning? We throw it out? Eric Adams, this city of yes is on steroids, and he went wild taking care of his developer friends as he knew he would be one and done. I told you he was corrupt. I told you there would be chaos, and I warned you in 2021. You should have elected me mayor then.
Okay. Mr. Mamdani.
You stupid motherfuckers didn't elect me as mayor back in 2021, and now the Ratmen have breached the 5-kilometer mark. That's right, 5 kilometers, not 5 miles, 5 kilometers. We've had to take our collaboration international and get the help of the French, the best damn diggers in the world, to collapse their tunnels and keep them at bay.
We need to build more housing all across New York City. Today, New York City builds about 4 houses for 1,000 people. Jersey City's at 7. Tokyo is at about 10. We need to do this by streamlining the processes of private sector construction across the city, by ensuring we're building more around hubs of mass transit. And we also need to ensure that the public sector is building truly affordable housing. And what I mean by truly affordable is housing that is built with the median household income in mind, which is $70,000 for a family of 4. And that's why my administration will do exactly that, scaling up programs we already had in HPD, like senior affordable rental apartments, SARA, like Ella, extremely low-level affordability. These are the kinds of programs that will deliver a city that New Yorkers can actually afford.
And to be clear, I am not against retrofitting empty skyscrapers for human habitation. It's just that it would take a lot of time and a lot of money, and it's not a good option if you're looking on housing a lot of people very quickly.
There was reference to the 3 housing-related charter amendment questions. I know Mr. Cuomo is on the record as saying he favors them. We just heard Mr. Sliwa say that he's against them. Where do you stand on those?
I'm appreciative that those measures will be on the ballot and that New Yorkers will be able to cast their votes for them. I know that we desperately need to build more housing in this city, and I also know that the jobs we create in the building of that housing should be good jobs as well.
It's cheaper to just tear office buildings down and build new ones, no? In some cases, yeah, it can genuinely be cheaper to do that.
No answer. What is your opinion, Zohran?
Yes or no?
Come on.
Yes or no?
What is your opinion? Yes or no, Zohran?
Can I just say, this is the debate stage equivalent of that meme where, the woman is yelling at the cat's
That's
just
crazy.
sitting there.
A family of 4, which if we assume there are 2 below working age kids, should not be making $35,000 per person in a city with billionaires.
No, it should be a $30 minimum wage, and if it takes the reframing of $30 livable wage, okay, I'm fine with that, but the bare minimum people should make in order to live in a city like New York is $30 per hour. You know, like everything is more expensive there. I don't know how people in New York City manage to get by on like actual minimum wage. It's crazy.
Don't be a politician here.
I got it. They're pointing out what I was about to, which is that you didn't answer the question.
No, I think on the stage you can see two people appealing for the Republican Party's votes. And myself.
Answer the question. Answer the question for once.
My question to you was, do you support the 3 ballot amendment questions?
I have not yet taken a position on those ballot amendment questions.
Oh, what a shocker.
All right.
What a shocker.
We're gonna
Don't
move
worry,
on.
once he takes it, he'll change it anyway.
We're going to move it on. We're going to move on. The candidates, the rhetoric.
I'm going to keep that image in the back pocket for the rest of this debate because I feel like that's going to happen a lot.
On the campaign trail has become more heated in recent weeks. We have reached a point where 2 of the candidates on stage here tonight have armed security. I would like to spend a few minutes to see if we can dial down the rhetoric. Mr. Mamdani, some Jewish New Yorkers continue to say that your comments on Israel and the war in Gaza leave them feeling unsafe and concerned about their future in our city. Recently, several prominent New York rabbis took the unusual step of denouncing your candidacy, including the rabbi of the Park Avenue Synagogue in Manhattan and Rabbi Michael Miller, the longtime leader of the Jewish Community Relations Council, who is a friend to many of us. Do you have any regrets about how you've dealt with these issues, and will your longstanding views on the subject get in the way of your ability to be an effective mayor?
I look forward to being a mayor for every single person that calls this city home. Not just those who voted for me in the Democratic primary, not just those that vote for me in this general election, but all 8.5 million New Yorkers. And that includes Jewish New Yorkers who may have concerns or opposition to the positions that I've shared about Israel and Palestine. You know, just a few weeks ago, I was on the M57, the slowest bus in New York City. And as I was seated there was a speech therapist who was sitting next to me. She told me that she was Jewish. She said that her daughter was a huge fan, but that she was not yet decided on who she was going to vote for. And she shared to me about her fears in this city, about rising anti-Semitism. And I told her what I will tell New Yorkers today, which is that I will be the mayor who doesn't just protect Jewish New Yorkers, but also celebrates and cherishes them, who doesn't just increase funding to hate crime prevention programs by 800%, who doesn't just ensure that the NYPD are outside of synagogues and temples on the high holy days, but also actually delivers on the implementation of the Hidden Voices curriculum in our school system so that children in this city learn about the beauty and the breadth of the Jewish experience right here in the 5 boroughs.
Okay.
Jesus, like it's like he was created in a lab to be good at this. You know, we have currently in America like at the very least 2 politicians that act as if they were grown in a lab to be politicians and just to excel at this. And on the one hand, you have Zohran Mamdani, the good one. And then on the other hand, you have the evil clone, which is, of course, Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is obviously, just looking at him, he looks like he's a vat person who was made to be good at politics. And like, I hate him so much. But on the other hand, we got Zohran Mamdani, and he's pretty good at politics.
I've got a different...
Yeah, but can I just comment on that?
Solid Mamdani and Liquid Newsom is such a fucking good... I love it. I love it so much. Oh, God. All right, perfect.
Please. You know, not everything is a TikTok video. You're the savior of the Jewish people. You won't denounce globalize the
You're Jesus Christ? You're the Christ?
Father, which means kill Jews. There's unprecedented fear in New York. It was not said.
Okay, so now Andrew Cuomo's on the debate stage accusing Zohran Mamdani of wanting to kill Jews. Okay.
Several rabbis, Errol. It was 650 rabbis who signed the letter, not several.
Let me ask you a related question, Mr. Cuomo. Many New Yorkers have serious grievances with Israel and the way the Israeli government under Benjamin Netanyahu has conducted the war in Gaza and expanded settlements in the West Bank. What would you say to and how would you handle New Yorkers who are in the streets, if you were mayor, protesting the
Insolent JDNLC, thank you very much for gifting a sub to Solidus Snakes Wait, sorry. Solidus Snake 69. I had to double check to make sure the number was right. Oh, God. This is going to be a great debate night.
Actions of the Netanyahu government.
Fine, that's your right. Protest, demonstrate, disagree. God bless America. God bless New York City. And
you know, except that you immediately after this posted an AI ad of like the folks who are protesting lighting American flags on fire and or like burning down buildings and like doing street fights and like, dude, you suck. You suck so much.
there is no doubt that there's two sides on what's going on, and the passions are very high. That doesn't justify anti-Semitic behavior in New York. It doesn't justify having a Jewish population that feels unprotected.
This is like after 9/11. You guys, I mean, some of you might not, but like after 9/11, right? Like, Allahu Akbar, right? Was like considered like super scary terrorist language, and it just means God is great. You know, like it's not scary language. But like a lot of like racists began interpreting like, oh man, anytime someone says that, they're a terrorist. And it's like, can you imagine like if the shoe was on the other foot and like Christians were being told saying God is great or God is good was a terrorist like phrase? Like, it's insane. In a similar vein, intifada is like, I believe it just means struggle, right? Uprising or shaking off. Like it just means like stop, like shake off the oppressor, like globalize the struggle, you know, against oppression and like colonial power. It's not actually a very scary thing at all. Andrew Cuomo is directly attempting to appeal to ignorance and bigotry in order to solidify his base of support. Like, that's all this is.
New York. It doesn't justify.
Yeah, literally the Holocaust Museum also used the word intifada and uprising.
Leaders who stoke the flames of hatred against Jewish people, which is what Zohran does, in my opinion.
I'll give him a chance to answer, and then we'll go to Mr. Sliwa.
You know, I've heard from Jewish New Yorkers about their fears about anti-Semitism in this city. And what they deserve is a leader who takes it seriously, who roots it out of these 5 boroughs, not one who weaponizes it as a means by which to score political points on a debate stage.
Hey, get his ass.
Excuse me, Mr. Cuomo, it's my turn, all right? It's like 2 kids in a schoolyard.
Yeah, I heard you on the radio this morning.
Zohran, this is personal for me. I know you are under threat. The mother of my 2 youngest sons who are raised Jewish, Melinda Katz, is prosecuting this person who came up and tried to do you harm. But let me speak on behalf of my 2 sons. When they've heard some of the statements you've made, like in support of global jihad, and I hear some people out there saying that...
At no point ever has Zohran Mamdani come out in support of a global jihad. Wow. God, the racism is insane.
Jews, their time is due, which means the same thing. They're frightened, they're scared. They view you...
We keep hearing about anti-Semitism, never Uncle Semitism, curious.
It's true. It's... Sake Tanuki. I now have my soundboard back. Like... There we go. Thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs. I got the giggles tonight. This debate is funny.
As the arsonist who fanned the flames of anti-Semitism, they cannot suddenly accept the fact that you're coming in like a firefighter and you're going to put out these flames.
You're an arsonist that fanned the flames of anti-Semitism. Holy shit.
Zohran is a social democrat. Why would he ever go for a global jihad? He'd want a local one.
Oh God, I'm just like, if you're gonna come out and just be like, yeah, you're the embodiment of anti-Semitism, Zohran Mamdani. Like, I don't know, you're a deeply unserious person.
Got a lot of explaining to do, a lot of apologizing to do. My sons are afraid. Their family, their friends, many in the Jewish community are concerned if you become mayor because they don't think when anti-Semitism rears its ugly head, which it's now doing more than ever before, that you will have the ability to come in and put out those flames of hate.
Okay, yeah, you can.
I think there is room for disagreement on many positions and many policies, but I also want to correct the record. I have never, not once, spoken in support of global jihad. That is not something that I have said, and that continues to be ascribed to me, and frankly, I think much of it has to do with the fact that I am the first Muslim candidate to be on the precipice of winning this election. Now,
hell yeah, what a classy way of accusing his opponents of being bigots. You know, like, good job. Also, worth noting, folks, that there are different types of jihad. There's, it's usually classified in two different ways. One being the external or lesser jihad, where a holy war waged against the world. But the more common usage of jihad is the internal battle, which is referred to as like the greater jihad, because it is a greater struggle within oneself between, like, to be good, essentially.
All the same, Curtis, I do still want to be the mayor that will keep your sons safe, that will keep every single New Yorker safe. And it is my job to not only deliver on that commitment, but also to ensure that New Yorkers feel it every single day that they live in this city.
Okay, candidates, Brian's going to take us into the next section.
Thank you, Errol. And the next section is some individual political questions, one for each of you. Let me start with you, Mr. Cuomo, then Katie will ask a question of Mr. Sliwa, and Errol to Mr. Mamdani. Mr. Cuomo, the last time most New Yorkers saw you before this campaign was when you resigned your seat as governor under scandal.
Yeah, the internal struggle against sin. Exactly, Lady of the Meta.
In 2021. The most recent Quinnipiac University poll in this race shows that 54% of likely voters say you're unethical. Meanwhile, you also have strained relations with Governor Hochul, State Attorney General Letitia James, and others. What would you say right now to New Yorkers who have questions about your moral compass and concerns that you cannot effectively work with other elected officials?
Yeah, well, first, you somewhat misstated the facts, but I resigned because there was allegations made. I didn't want to waste the time and distract state government. I knew it was going to take a long time to sort out. I left, which I thought was respectful to state government. We sorted it out legally. Nothing came from any of the allegations. I was dropped from the case.
Dude, don't say the word came. Don't do it. Don't do it in relation to these allegations. You gotta stop.
You know that. We've had this discussion 4 times, but you like to talk about the past rather than yesterday. I chose Governor Kathy Hochul. I would have no problem working with her. The legislature, I got 11 budgets passed on time. Most in modern political history. They haven't gotten one done on time since I was there. So don't tell me who knows how to work with the legislature. And a mayor being able to deal with that legislature is key. Because don't kid yourself, I've watched every governor and mayor since Ed Koch. There is a tension between the city and the state. The city's arguing for its budgets, the state is saying no, and the city has been getting screwed by the state, and that has to change, and the city has to be doing better.
Thank you. Katie?
New Yorkers, you've often presented yourself as more of a well-known New York character than a serious policy expert. Your critics have said your candidacy is making it more likely that Zohran Mamdani can win the election. What do you say to them and to others who feel that while your name recognition has seen a boost, your candidacy is not helpful to New Yorkers, including those who share your views?
Number one, I have 13 campaign offices open. I'm throughout the outer boroughs. You see the excitement.
And I'm not even going to mention the campaign offices that I opened below in the sewers. That's right, we have campaign offices in the sewers. We're recruiting the mole people, the ones closer to the surface. We're recruiting them into our midst, and we are going to use them as our shock troops. We're going to send them down into the tunnels like sleeping mines, living mines, to explode out of the earth and to take the ratmen unaware.
And energy of the working class people that I represent. I am the Republican populist candidate representing the working class, and I'm also, Katie, the candidate on the independent line. First,
representing the mole people. First candidate ever to represent them. That's right, I believe they deserve finally their time in the sun. We'll give them full rights, we'll give them the ability to vote, we'll give them weapons, and then we'll send them back down. They will wage our war for us.
Ever put together by my wife Nancy, who loves animals like so many. Save the animals. No kill shelters. Animal abusers go to jail. So people know.
Especially the mole abusers. Jail for life.
That I'm not just running to protect people, which has been my life as leader of the Guardian Angels. I'm there to protect our pets and animals. Because remember, Mahatma Gandhi said, a society that does not take care of its animals does not take care of its people.
And we're gonna take care of the ratmen real good with the help of the mole people. Why, we need to come up with an array of defenses against whatever devious tactics the ratmen might deploy.
Homeless, emotionally disturbed.
Mahatma Gandhi said what?
Veterans, I'm out there every day tending to their needs with the Guardian Angels, doing things that the city and...
Yeah, no, like, one of the very few good things I like about him is that he's against kill shelters. Like, I unironically like that.
State should have been doing a long time ago, but neglected them and instead spent $7 billion on migrants that we don't even know. That is a disgrace. We should be there for our own people who are suffering and wallowing in desperation and despair.
Okay, Mr. Mamdani. You have criticized the politics of the past where leaders either avoid taking a stand on a key issue or try to be all things to all people. But at times during this campaign, you've carefully avoided answering tough questions. We saw an instance just a few minutes ago when I asked about how you plan to vote on those ballot initiatives next month. We've asked whether you support a major rezoning push for part of Queens, some of which is in your district. You've been unclear about how you think the city schools should be run, its governance structure. How is that different from politics as usual?
I can't turn up my mic. I can turn down the video. My mic is basically at maximum, okay? At least until I get the additional cables that I need to use this cloud lifter.
When it comes to our schools, I believe that every single child deserves to have an excellent public education. And we have not seen that under the stewardship of those schools with this mayoral administration. We have not seen it because we are not fully funding those schools. We are not on track to comply with the class size mandates of those schools. We are not even on track to ensure greater literacy levels across those schools, despite the strides that have been taken with NYC REITs. When it comes to rezoning, I've been very clear that I will always celebrate the addition of additional housing units across the city. I also believe that Gantry State Park and Queensbridge Park should be one contiguous park. Those are things that one can believe at the same time. And my critiques of the politics of the past is right here on the stage. You can see in Andrew Cuomo someone who had 10 years to deliver on so much of what he's spoken about. He says that taking 5 years to build affordable housing is the sign of an incompetent government. By his own words, that means he must have led an incompetent government. That is what we are seeing, because that is the record that is actually on offer.
Get his ass, let's go!
I understand my friend doesn't really understand government. The governor doesn't build housing in New York City.
Not if it's you.
No.
Hey! Pow, pow, pow! Let's go!
No, legally, there are jurisdictions. The governor doesn't pick up trash. He doesn't run the fire department. That's what the mayor does.
Well, I mean, the governor could and should pick up trash because that's just a good thing to do.
Mayor builds housing. The state allocates funding for localities.
Andrew Cuomo getting up on the debate stage and admitting to littering. Disgusting.
And I allocated more funding for housing than any governor in the history of the state of New York. All right? I did things. You have never had a job. You've never accomplished anything. There's no reason to believe you.
I've done things because my daddy gave me jobs. What have you done aside from get elected as a representative at the state level and win $500 million for your constituents within, just a handful of years? Wait a minute, that actually sounds like a lot, actually. That actually that sounds like a lot. Being an elected representative for half a decade is actually quite a bit.
Have any merit or quality?
Ah, yes, that's true. My bad, Dragonfly. Andrew Cuomo did things like sexually harass and abuse women in his proximity. I forgot. He did, credit where credit's due. He did do that, and then lost his job as a result of it.
Qualification for 8.5 million lives. You don't know how to run a government. You
I've
don't
done
know
more than any sitting governor in history. Many people are saying this.
I've done more than any sitting governor in history. I've got 2 hands and I use them to creep out all the women in New York City.
how to handle an emergency, and you've literally never proposed a bill on anything that you're now talking about in your campaign. You had the worst attendance record in the assembly.
Look at the fucking energy is unreal. The fucking energy. Oh god. You've never done anything for anyone in this city.
And you gave yourselves the highest raise in the United States of America. You went from $110,000 to $140,000, and then you never showed up for work, and you missed 80% of the votes. Shame on you. Shame on you.
No, it is always a pleasure to hear Andrew Cuomo create his own facts at every debate stage. We just had a former governor say in his own words that the city has been getting screwed by the state. Who was leading the state? It was you!
Governor.
Oh, fuck. This man is gonna systematically dismantle Andrew Cuomo by the time this is done. By the time this is done, like, Andrew Cuomo won't be, will need to be rebuilt like RoboCop. Like, this is crazy.
You were leading the state for
Governor
10 years, screwing the city.
No.
You cut
You
homelessness
as a legislator,
funding. You cut funding for the MTA.
You as a legislator.
You did all of these things, my
That's
friend.
the past 4 years. It's the past 4 years.
Okay, guys, I didn't want to have to do this, but you understand how this works. You can't talk over each other. Nothing works if you do that. I believe we've heard your response. I wanted to give you a quick word, and then we're going to move on.
I heard the both of them again fighting like kids in the schoolyard. Zohran, your resume could fit on a cocktail napkin.
Zohran, your resume could fit on a cock. That's right, a cock. Also, man, you can't stand on the debate stage and be taken seriously with your fucking beret tan line. It's insane. Look at it. I can't stop seeing it every single time he's on screen. Look at that shiny dome. You could just like if you were in an ancient tomb and like beams of light were coming down, you could just put your head into it to light up the rest of the room. It's crazy.
Andrew, your failures could fill a public school library in New York City.
Okay. Go ahead, Teddy.
We're gonna move
All right, old man. A little past your bedtime.
Now to public safety. And there was some breaking news from the New York Times that you, Mr. Mamdani, would ask Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch to stay on as police commissioner if you are indeed mayor. I wanted to confirm if that was true. And for Mr. Cuomo and Mr. Sliwa, would you ask the current police commissioner to stay on if you were elected? So, Mr. Mamdani, we'll start with you.
Yes, I can confirm that reporting. My administration will be relentless in its pursuit of safety and affordability for every New Yorker. And the delivery of that will require us to put together a team of the best and the brightest. Eric Adams stacked the upper echelons of the NYPD with corruption and incompetence. Commissioner Tisch took on a broken status quo, started to deliver accountability, rooting out corruption, and reducing crime across the 5 boroughs. I've said time and again that my litmus test for that.
Yo, Quigley, thank you for the $2 super chat. Cuomo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Cuomo.
That position will be excellence, and the alignment will be of that position. And I am confident that under a Mamdani administration, we would continue to deliver on that same mission and do so while creating the Department of Community Safety to ensure that mental health experts were the ones responding to the mental health crisis. Because safety and justice is at the cornerstone of our pursuit of public safety, and in doing so, we will also be able to deliver our agenda for affordability.
Thank you. And very briefly, quickly, Mr. Sliwa and Mr. Cuomo, would you ask Commissioner Tisch to stay on if you are elected mayor?
Yes, I would, for stability, but then again, I don't think she would serve with either Cuomo or Zohran because she has railed against no cash bail. Cuomo, the architect of no cash bail, Zohran, the apprentice of no cash bail. That's why criminals are running in the street.
And Mr. Cuomo, would you ask?
That's right, Zohran Mamdani made the criminals. He made them by being an apprentice of no cash bail. Again, I don't think any of these people know how no cash bail works. Like, it's not rocket science, folks. No cash bail functions by just saying, hey, if you're a judge, you need to determine whether or not a suspect who has been charged with a crime is a threat to the public. If they are, or themselves, if they are, they get held in custody. If they aren't, they get to go free and go to their court date. Like, that's it. End of story. If they're a flight risk, they also get held. But like, if you're not a flight risk and you're not a danger to yourself or others, like, then yeah, you can go free. Like, the added barrier of money is just kind of bullshit, right? Like, if you are innocent until proven guilty, they need to prove that there is a reason to hold you in custody and deny you your liberty. It's literally what judges do already, just without the bullshit money element attached to it. It's not a difficult concept. Also, folks, congrats. You have hit the 30% of the way to our goal. Let's keep going. And folks, I'm just going to stop real quick. If you've been enjoying the show, if you've been getting anything out of this, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Do the things. Hit the buttons. Hit the follow button. Do the things. And also, please consider dropping those subs, those donos, those memberships, those super chats. Because at the end of the day, you guys make this stream possible. I could not do this day in and day out without your support. So thanks to all of you who have supported stream directly and indirectly. It means the world to me, and I really, really, really appreciate it.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the scenes. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.